Okay, October 12th. Today in 1901, Teddy Roosevelt officially changed the name of the White House to the White House. Prior to 1901, it had been routinely called the President's House, the President's Mansion, the Executive Mansion. There were several names that had been used over the years. So in 1901, Teddy Roosevelt officially changed the name to the White House, which is how we know it today. A couple of other things that happened today. In 1970, Richard Nixon announced he was withdrawing 40,000 troops from Vietnam, continuing a steady decline. When he took office in '69, there were about 540,000 troops. By the end of 1970, it was down to 335,000. By the end of '73, it was down to 160,000. So he was gradually reducing the number of troops to get us out of Vietnam and to turn that war over to the South Vietnamese. So that happened today in 1970. And then the other thing that happened in 1973, following on to yesterday's, Richard Nixon chose Gerald Ford to be his vice president after the resignation of Spiro Agnew. In the past, this wasn't a requirement. If the vice president died or if the vice president resigned, there was no requirement in the Constitution for the president to name a successor. It wasn't until the passage of the 25th Amendment in the 1960s, 67, that the president was required to have a vice president. And that's because the 25th Amendment set the succession plan, president, vice president, secretary of state, as to how that would go. And so he had to have a vice president. So that's why he selected Gerald Ford, who was the minority leader in the House of Representatives, so the top Republican in the House, to be his vice president. So those things happened today, October 12th. I will see you tomorrow.